A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
High noon and welcome in. This is the Mason Crosby Show. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Our studios are powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We're presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. And after a hopefully stress-free, I'm guessing not luxurious, I'm guessing 1 million things done on the honey-do list, Human Wednesday.
Boys, I'm tired today. I'll tell you that much. I've hit salts. I'm drinking coffee. I don't know if anyone's there with me. That holiday ramp up I had on Tuesday, I feel like it's I'm like trending down. I gotta ramp this thing back up for the weekend.
Away. We're still
I know, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I think I stayed up way too late last night. Tommy will appreciate this. The high schoolers got out of school half day yesterday after finals, and so Nolan had 5 buddies spend the night, and you know how that goes. It's 2 a.m. I'm like, all right, boys, time to shut it down. I couldn't sleep thinking it's like, are they gonna sneak out of the house? What are they up to? So it was a late night.
Were they gonna? Is that an actual?
There's always one kid that's like, maybe we should go outside for a little bit. We're gonna walk around the neighborhood.
Yeah, go egg some houses.
Oh gosh, I hope not. Yeah, but no, they were playing football and basketball down the sport court, and just having some fun. I know, Tommy, you got to come here. Y'all got to get here sometime. We can ball out on the basketball court over here.
Again, like if we're playing a game of horse, I like my chances. If it's a full court basketball game, like I'm gonna fake an injury halfway through it.
Is it a full court or is it just a half court, man?
It's a full court.
Yeah.
Right,
so again, like I'll take Nolan on in literally any sport that
you
doesn't
could
involve running.
You could take the 8-year-olds. You got them.
Oh yeah. I think so.
I don't know. Christine's kind of a baller, so watch out.
She's tall.
She's way less removed from basketball and coaching than I am. So I mean, gives her somewhat of a fighting chance. But 2 a.m. boy, like I don't know. I maybe Nolan tricked me in the few times that I've met him, but he doesn't seem like. He seems like he's got like the healthy amount of fear from you guys. That I wouldn't be too worried. And
they didn't do anything wrong, and like they just stay up.
Yeah,
it's just like they're just up. They were watching scary movies. You know how that goes. Like it's just I came up. I scared them to death because they were up in this, and I just kind of like peeked in like the door, like and just kind of like poked my head in like it's a glass front door. And they just saw, and like all of them, I saw them on the couch just like fly out of their bodies. So that was a good moment. That was a good dad moment for me. I felt good about that one.
What was the food or snacks of choice for the teenage boys?
Oh man, I think that's where it's weighing heavy. I think that's where my downer started was with the Costco trip yesterday. I mean, we got a lot of stuff. I grilled burgers last night, some hot dogs.
Let's go.
It was fun. Honestly, it's good. I love that the holiday, it's holiday break now. The girls are getting out of school today and just kind of start that process where we're ready to go. We're getting geared up for Christmas.
Holiday blues is a real thing. I don't think that's something that you should like feel about at least.
No, I think it's just a day. I think I'm just gonna have a day here where I'm just like, all right,
you're still a week away from Christmas, so you're like, I have some time, but really I should probably prioritize this a little bit more. I am not even like yesterday. I was listening to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh in the morning, and they had brought up the deadline for Amazon carts, and I was terrified that I missed. So yesterday I went and looked, and one of my items was not going to be available, but it was the one item. If any of the items wouldn't have made it, like, okay, fine, I can get a different gift for that person. But I had to pull the trigger yesterday immediately. Otherwise,
do we need to talk about my gift that you got for me?
I know it's
That's the best thing I've ever heard in my life.
Dude,
That's so good.
I could not believe, Mitch Nellis, that I got you. I told you a month ago I got
You
your
were
Christmas
so
gift. I was
excited.
like, I got you the best Christmas gift of all time. And then I realized that I bought it on a pre-sale and it will not be here until April. And your
Perfect.
birthday is in February. So there's just
I'm already excited for April.
zero reason.
Yeah,
to
I'm
get
already
this
excited for April.
April.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Talking text line. What gives you the holiday blues, and how do you get through the holiday blues season? I was at Costco a couple days ago. Then we went to TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx is like
Holiday blues cure.
That's a scary space too.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
It is like all because
You go to TJ Maxx or Nordstrom Rack, and it's like I feel very overwhelmed.
it's
in
like
those
every time you
stores.
turn the corner, there's like a different holiday like angel threw up everywhere. And it's like
holiday
are these
threw
like-
up. I
yeah,
love it.
It's like
All
it's
right.
like knickknacks, it's food, and then they had a couple pack. So Mason, I'm gonna say this out loud.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've gotten me something yet or not. And if you and honestly, you don't need to get me anything like I know we like.
Oh,
doing
that's the
things, but
classic
you don't-
line.
like,
Relax,
but-
God.
but
I don't
feel-
need anything. Just
No,
your
no, it's not that I
friendship
don't
is
need it.
enough.
I actually don't want anything. There's one thing I want that you could get me
Okay.
if you don't have it. And I don't know.
I love suggestions.
And I don't know what your access is to anymore. I just need a Packers either sweatshirt or quarter zip. Like
Mm.
I don't have any Packers gear. I have a Packers polo with a Miller Lite logo that's 20 years old.
Really?
That's all
Okay.
I have.
If Molly is listening, she's probably already like
So I-
pulling
so I don't know
stuff
if you still
like
have
out
the-
where she's like,
I don't know if you still have stuff or if you have the old alumni link that got you the
I have a lot of
Yeah.
stuff, bro.
So, I
that's
just
a good idea because yes, as we're kind of clearing out and cleaning
I
up,
wear my Brewers stuff. I have tons of Buck stuff. I
do
realize
you need
I
a
have no-
beanie too? I mean, I got
I'll take
a million
dude,
of
I would
those.
rock a Packers beanie. You kidding me?
Okay.
For sure. Yeah.
What do you need?
So-
What do you want, Tommy? What do you want
throwing that out.
from Popo Shisho Crosby?
Oh,
Have you-
uh,
Santa
He
Claus, one
wants
of my
your
all-time
leg
favorite
sleeve,
movies.
like the sleeve you wore on your leg under
Santa
your
Crosby.
uniform.
What do you
Yeah.
need?
I don't have anything right now that I'm like in dire need of. I made a coffee table the other night, so that was the last thing I needed in my
you are-
life.
Did
You
you hit
are-
a shelf?
Yeah,
Shelves,
four
coffee
shelves,
table. You're
four shelves.
just a baller.
No big deal.
All right, let's start. Let's talk ball. We'll get back into this and my extra points, but let's give the people what they want. We've gotten in our doldrums, or in like our holiday
true.
slump. Now let's talk about how the Packers are going to get out of this Broncos slump and the injury doldrums and all the things and find a way to win against the Bears.
So I want to start with you, Mason, with something that LaFleur talked about in his press conference yesterday.
Yeah.
Christian Watson practiced yesterday.
Yep.
Not only did he practice, but he looked good. He looked
Good.
comfortable. We don't know what that's going to mean. But I just want to start with how important is it for this offense? And is there an element of surprise for you if Christian Watson's like full go? If he's like, if
Not
he's
surprised
okay.
at all.
Okay.
And I loved his comments. I loved like him, like just showing like that toughness, right?
Yep.
I think that's something that like this team and like the Packer Nation needed to see a little bit. Like, all right, this guy's hurting. Josh Jacobs plays through. Like, I think he's one of those guys.
Yeah.
Christian Watson has had a lot of injuries, but like him saying like it would take something significantly worse than this to keep me out of this game. Like, I think we all needed that. We all needed that in our veins. And then I think I saw LaFleur say something about like the character and the guys in that locker room, because we've been talking about leadership and some different things. So I think like I like when they put that out into the world. We need to know like what's going on in that building. Like there needs to be some candid, like some real comments of like, these are the types of people that they are. This is how they operate, not just like what we see on the field and like give your little staged answers. Like be real. Let us know what's going on. Christian Watson, like the most important player on this offense since he's been back, is going to fight through this and find a way to get on that field. I love that. I'm fired up for it and definitely have the Packers winning this game with Christian Watson on the field.
And Tommy made the point yesterday about like when he went down. Tommy, you could tell the point better. I mean, you're here.
Well,
like what was your reaction when you saw Watson go down?
I thought broken collarbone.
But also just like Christian Watson,
unbelievable, right? That was the words that literally came out of my mouth. You're just sitting there thinking like, how can this continue to happen to this guy? And maybe it felt like those were selfish thoughts because it felt like for the first time I could really have some faith and trust and excitement behind Christian Watson, more so than I ever have since he's been in a Packers uniform. And it just like felt like it was all getting ripped out of me right at the last minute there. And Matt LaFleur talked about it a little bit today, and he was a little cryptic in some of his comments. He spoke for only 2.5 minutes today. You guys want to pause and play throughout it? Give the Peaches some Matt
let's
LaFleur.
Listen. I want to hear it.
Here's Matt LaFleur earlier.
Did he keep a shirt on, or did he turn?
Shirt will stay on for now.
With Edmonds presumably coming back for Chicago, what does that do to challenge you guys?
Just gives them another really good player. I think he's played outstanding football. I mean, you could argue the leader of their defense, and so it gives them a good piece back.
What'd you think of what you saw from Christian Watson yesterday?
Encouraging.
And that's it. Just encouraging. That's it. So that's obviously got to, like, you don't want to give anything away, right?
Sure.
Mason, like, or is that seriously
uncertain
still?
I'd handle it differently if like he felt like I'd almost, you don't want to get in trouble. I know there's like NFL, there's rules where it's like you can't do too much in that space if you are truly uncertain. But I'd be like, man, he's looking good. Like if I a lot better, like kind of put a little fluff on the back end of that where it's like he's a lot further along than I anticipated.
Let's continue. Yeah, let's continue.
A little bit more.
How much what do you need to see today to be further encouraged?
Just going out there and running around and making plays. Ultimately it's going to come down to just obviously medical decision, but where he's at on Saturday.
He seems like he's in the holiday doldrums right now.
Yeah, he is. He's like Watson's playing. He for some reason.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if this is gamesmanship with the Bears or if it's just LaFleur doesn't want to share information with the media. He's playing. Come on.
But why wouldn't you? I'd be like, I would put that out there if you feel pretty much 90% confident that he's like, make them know he has torn the Bears up. Like right. I think that's going to strike more fear into them knowing that Christian Watson's going to be on the field.
You would think that you're trying to play this chess match with it. If you give this illusion that Watson is playing, then the Bears are going to prepare for him, whether he is or isn't already. Right. And then maybe it opens something else up if Watson isn't available. Right.
Exactly.
More Matt LaFleur.
Zach, Tom, go today.
They will not.
Jacob sends Zach.
What does that mean for their Saturday?
Means we'll give them up to game time.
Is there anybody that you can rule out at this point?
Let me just check this little list here. Yeah, there will be a couple guys that will end up ruling out here. I'm anticipating after practice, which that'll be then. I don't.
That'll be at a later time of the day.
We'll try to do it.
You always do.
Matt, at tight end, we were asked about Luke earlier in the week. Josh had an injury, but John Fitzpatrick, his snaps went up. Was that necessarily because of Zach, or how do you feel that he's been doing in his role at tight end?
I think Fitzy's done a nice job. I think all those guys have kind of carved out a niche for themselves in regards to what we're going to put them in the positions that we're going to put them, and I think he's done a really good job with that.
Matt, the Bears haven't had a home game with kind of this much at stake, this much on the line in quite a while. What kind of atmosphere and everything are you expecting walking in?
I think it'll be like the first time we went down there in 2019 to open up the season. I think it's going to be electric. I'm sure they're going to have the big baritone national anthem guy out there and piping it away. I think it's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere. I think it's playoff football atmosphere, so it'll be fun.
Do you remember that game at all in 2019, Mason, that he's referencing?
I'm trying to think back. I mean, that was his first game going down there. I don't remember specifics from it. No. Do you remember what happened? I don't remember what happened.
No, I didn't either. I was just wondering.
I'm assuming we won.
If it was just a very memorable moment for him.
Packers 10-3.
Yeah. Oh, so it was a tight one. Yeah. Okay. I do remember that. Yeah. It was a bit of a tight defensive battle there. But it's
Mitch Trubisky was the quarterback.
Oh, that's right.
Aaron threw for 203 yards.
Was that was Trubisky? Like, they were good that year, right?
2017, I think they made the playoffs.
Was that
right?
2017 double doink?
I think so. I don't think that was 19, was it?
Okay.
The touchdown was a Jimmy Graham receiving touchdown.
That didn't happen very
When
often.
was it 20?
Surprised
was
you
it
didn't
that long
remember
ago?
that.
2017.
Blake Martinez led the team in tackles.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he was a tackle machine.
Yeah,
Man.
well, that's because they
7
gained
yards
7
behind-
yards
Sorry.
after they tackled
Tommy's
him.
mad about Blake Martinez.
So I'm here's a like I know y'all saw like Sean McVay, I guess, was dealing with some illness stuff. I guess his wife also had a baby or whatever. I saw that he flew separate to Seattle, and the team plane and their travel was like had some issues, right? Like that stuff's it stinks so bad. But I'm like listening to LaFleur, and I'm like, dude, make sure you take care of yourself. This is that time of year where guys are just like battling like illness and all those things. Like these last 3 weeks of a season get pretty trying in the health department, not just on the field, but just in every aspect.
I got one more question and answer from LaFleur. You want to hear it?
Yep.
Yes, I do.
What does it take to overcome that from your end?
Great focus, concentration, knowing the plan inside and out. I think the guys have done a really nice job over the last 2 days preparing and just knowing what to do. And ultimately, it's going to come down to the execution of that.
So I think this will open up our next topic in there, but hearing the back end of this presser talking about the playoff atmosphere, talking about the execution that's going to be needed, Mason, it kind of feels like the winner of this game gets taken seriously down the stretch and the loser of this game gets put on fraud watch, kind of.
I don't think you're wrong there. And I mean, just true playoff implications, right? Like either team wins and Detroit loses, they clinch a playoff spot, right? So this is the first opportunity to secure a spot in the playoffs, and that's big time. You can't take it for granted. I know, sure, you got 2 weeks after this, but this is the most important game that you're going to play to this point in the season, just like it was Chicago at home. I think this is that second one where it's like, if you can beat Chicago and know that, like, worst case, you go 5-1 in the division, you're more than likely going to get in the playoffs, probably win the division as well with what the Bears schedule is. Get a home game. I mean, this game is huge. It's really important. It's kind of wild thinking about it, though. Like the conversations we had before the game at Lambeau feel so different than the conversations we've had this week so far, right? Like it's injuries, it's different things. Like Christian Watson was he was a world beater when he was coming into Chicago. We knew like he was going to be there. He was going to be. Now we're asking, all right, is he going to be available? Micah Parsons not on the field. What's their defense going to look like? I sent y'all a bunch of stats, which I think you said you held off on yesterday. So I can't wait to dive into just comparing defenses from last year, this year, what Micah Parsons' impact was, and can this defense still be great? And I truly believe they can still be a really good defense. So I'm not writing that defense off for 1 second just because Micah Parsons is not on the field.
Well, and with, don't want to trigger me and Mitch on this conversation, but I did bring this up when I was in for Wisconsin Sports Daily on Tuesday. I mean, sometimes when the big name goes out, like that's when the coaches get the most creative and the most successful. And looking back at it,
when other guys step up instead of resting on their laurels.
Absolutely.
You're gonna have to depend on a lot more of the defense than what Micah Parsons made them depend on.
Well,
when he was on the field.
When you look back to last season, the weeks 2 and 3 games, I know they were against the Titans and the Colts, but did you think of it as a Malik Willis stepped up or a Matt LaFleur got in his bag type 2 weeks? Like, I think that's a real argument too, to say Malik Willis, he absolutely did his part in those 2 games, but
he did it because
Matt LaFleur kind of schemed it up beautifully for him.
Thank you.
So
and we're going to dive into it because I did a deep dive in the stats on like Tuesday afternoon. And so like, I can't wait to dive into that a little bit more on like, we kind of forget how good this defense was last year. And and the impact that they had on this football team. So let's go to break and then we'll dive back into that.
Tyson wants to know if you would send him he sent his address along.
Oh, okay,
in the text line. So
signed
Santa
jersey.
Mason,
All right.
yeah.
I'm gonna leave a. Never mind.
You should get him a signed. Did you go to Georgetown High School?
I did go to Georgetown.
Ooh. You got any of those?
I think I might have one Georgetown High School. Sorry, I can't give that away.
You can't give that away.
If there's any dog poop you want to set on fire, we have his address.
And then sign.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah. Shouldn't put your don't put it. Don't say his address out loud. We don't want any trouble.
As long as you sign it. Remember, we're going to be in Kenosha tomorrow at the Broad Stop. We'll tell you all about that later on in the show as well. But you should make it down to the Broad Stop. It's going to be a blast. I'll be there. Rami's going to be there. Charlie and Sparky are going to be there, as well as the folks from 670 The Score. That's brought to you by Ziegler Kenosha Subaru, ZieglerKenoshaSubaru.com, and by Siding Unlimited, SidingUnlimited.com. Mason's stats inside the numbers. Mason, what's your shirt say?
Oh, you like this shirt?
I can't say.
I'm the middle child.
Not that anyone
cares.
That is 100% appropriate.
Yeah, this is a birthday gift this year from my family. So see how they think of me.
Congratulations.
Exactly.
no
one cares.
You're the middle child of this show too.
Oh, that's
true.
That's real. That's real.
Yeah, and the kicker, man, I'm just like I'm a disaster.
And
Tommy doesn't talk to kickers, right? So
I don't talk to kickers.
This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Tommy Wirtz. And Mason, the juxtaposition of your dinner last night versus Tommy Wirtz's dinner last night is like fully intriguing me. Like you grilled for like 100 kids.
Yeah.
Tommy Wirtz went to the grocery store, bought a steak, and made himself a steak.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I think that's amazing. Like I
love
love
that
that
life.
But like, yeah, exactly. Like what different stages of life we're all in as like you're grilling as like the kids are almost, Nolan and the boys are off. I
had the boys make their own hamburgers.
Nice.
So yeah,
Smart.
they had to make their patties up and get it all ready to go. So
I mean, as you guys know, I've been like doing this diet thing for a little bit here.
Yeah.
So I've been getting into cooking a little bit, and I've been doing like double cooking almost. So like I prepared everything for my crock pot meal, which I have now food for yesterday. And then while I did that, then I cooked the steak.
So while you're in the kitchen, you make two meals. You make tonight's meal and tomorrow's meal.
Yeah, I know.
And just knock it out since you're in the kitchen anyway.
Look, this used to be my fat shirt, guys. Like this thing is like, like we are.
Let's go.
We're down to like my pants are falling. I need to wear a belt now. Like it's working in some capacity
Just
here.
keep your pants on, Tommy.
Yeah, that's where
Crosby's on one today.
Gosh,
Let's go. I love it.
I always call it the Winnie the Pooh. Like Winnie the Pooh is not the look that you want to be.
Donald ducking.
The Donald ducking, yeah.
Donald ducking.
there's a weight joke below the belt too somewhere in there. But,
gosh,
right.
yeah. We won't go there. Yeah, we'll see if any listeners do though.
414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law talking text line. 414-677-1250. We'd love your response. What you think about the importance of Christian Watson and his impact on the offense. But while we're waiting for your responses there, Mason Crosby, the statistician, the stat magician, did a little work on the Packers defense because we all know Micah Parsons was not on the team last year.
Yep.
As of if you rewind to August 18th, today's December 18th. If you go to August 18th, Micah Parsons was not on the team.
Exactly. The expectation
Packers,
was for him not to be here.
Exactly. So we were preparing for that. Micah Parsons is here, and the defense obviously is going to look a little different with him. But Mason, you got your shovel out and you dug into those numbers, brother.
Yeah, I was diving a little bit. The things that stood out the most were with Micah Parsons. They so far this year have a 3% higher pressure rate on quarterbacks, and so just kind of through my time, it's like takeaways always stand out, right? They do stand out. It's like, all right, you take the ball away, you give your offense another opportunity. Those are impact plays right away. But as I kind of actually looked at the data, they're like, because I'm always like, is pressure really that important? Like just pressure, hitting the quarter, doing all that. I know it's important, but they actually said like quantifying through a course of a season, pressure rate is potentially more important than actually taking the ball away.
Wow.
Because you get a quarterback off timing, you mess with an offense, like what the offense has had to do against this Packers team with Micah Parsons, way different than what they were trying to do last year against that 2024 defense, right? They weren't afraid to try to take it downfield, do different things. And then here's another stat that I found interesting. I would have thought, because of all the talk, we need to get pressure with 4. We got to get pressure with 4. That they wouldn't blitz as much. They actually have a 2% higher blitz rate from what I looked up this year than they did last year. I think they're blitzing it. They blitz very little in general compared to like the Vikings. The Vikings are like 39%, maybe more. And I think the Packers this year are 19%. Last year they were like around 17%. So I found that interesting. Some of the other thing, the thing that I took away as well though was pressure is great.
Yep.
But the completion percentage of opposing quarterbacks this year did not go down. They were still completing 65. It was about the same compared to last year. And it was almost a third. They only have about a third of the takeaways, just over a third of the takeaways that they had last season, right? They had 33 last year. They have 13 this year.
Yep.
So they're going to get hopefully get a few more. But that to me was very interesting. It's like pressure's great, but we're not actually. Are we affecting the quarterback
right
as much as we want to be? Yeah. So for me, I'm always a takeaway guy. I'm like, you take the ball away, you give the offense another chance. You give them
a rest.
The defense gets off the field quicker. The thing that concerned me these last few weeks, and against the Bears in particular, the last game, is time of possession.
Yeah.
Like they were they're letting some teams have possession. They might not be getting scored on at a high rate and doing some of these things, pretty good third down percentage, but are they letting teams get into 4th and short or different situations where they're going for it and still keeping drives alive? So, yes, Micah Parsons, no question that he impacted this defense. And the fact that this Packers team lost 3 games and allowed 13 points or less in those games is not the defense fault by any means. So the defense is elite, but we have to remember that 2024 defense was a top 10 defense and was elite in its own right and had elite takeaway ability, a lot of other things that they did really well. So I think I did some of that dive for myself, for fans, for people, just to say, let's not just say, Micah Parsons gone, season's over, right? Like, let's depend on Halfley. Let's depend on some of these guys. But Molly is always gives me her little insight.
That voice of reason.
And she always felt this way whenever Cullen Jenkins left the Packers. Whenever we lost some of those interior D linemen, it's the Kenny Clark, Devontae Wyatt's out. TJ Slayton was a big impact player last year. We lost those interior defensive linemen make great pass rushers for the edge guys. So those guys, that's why they get paid a ton of money too. Whether they're making sacks, doing whatever, they allow those skill pass rush guys to get home with their impact in the middle. Aaron Donalds of the world. I mean, that guy was you had to double team him. So you're going to free up, and you can't double team everybody. You're freeing up guys if he doesn't get home. So I do think some of the the things we miss the most and what we might see an impact is that interior defensive line, more so than necessarily all right, Micah Parsons isn't on the field. This defense isn't as good. It's also it's him, and potentially there's not D linemen that are going to impact the game as much.
So what does that say about this Packers offense based on how comparable the defenses have been over the last 2 years, and maybe even an argument for regression on the defensive side, just from a team-wide stats point, with a third of the takeaways? That's a big problem, and they're continuing to just do more of the same of what they did last year. What about the offense then? That it seems like from an eye test, everyone's a little more impressed with the offense this year, but maybe less impressed with the team overall at some points in the season. I think that this Packers team on the offensive side has grown so much, and Jordan Love really is the key to that. But at the same time, looking at the regression of the run game, the regression of the offensive line in general, if the defense is remaining the same, what's happening to the offense just from an eye test point of view for you, Mason?
Yeah, and I've said that a few times, is this team, and I think it was from, they win those first 2, and then they're kind of just in a weird spot for a few weeks, and we weren't sure what this team was, and that's what they've been. They've been consistently inconsistent. And that offense, to lay those eggs where you can't score over 13 points, mind you, those defenses were good. Browns are good, but the Bears put up 30 points, 30 plus points on the Browns. Other teams have done things against the Browns. It's the inconsistency where it's just this team, if you score 21 plus points, you're giving yourself a great chance to win games. So is it taking shots at the wrong time, like they did maybe with Christian Watson? I don't mind taking a shot there, but did they need to do that, right? In that Denver game. Is it just timing? Is it plan? Is there an emotional piece where Christian Watson gets hurt and then you can't figure out how to move the ball and do things on offense? It just feels like this offense just has some of those inconsistencies. And who's to blame there, right? I don't know. The players have to go on the field, execute a scheme at a high level. LaFleur talked about it. He's it's all going to be about absorbing what we're trying to do and then going and executing on the field. So that is an important piece, but it's also It's the coach's job to put those guys in a successful spot. And so I saw this interesting thing. I don't know if y'all saw this. Talking about like ed policy. What's going to happen? Is Goody, like, well, are they going to extend LaFleur, whatever? I saw an interesting piece. I don't know if you saw this. I can't remember where it was from, but somebody suggested saying, I'd be curious to see if ed policy put Goody in a power of position, extended Goody, and said, hey, you make the decision here.
Yeah.
You decide, is LaFleur your guy? You want to keep rolling there?
Well, there is that rumor, Mason.
Because we got to look at personnel. Personnel is really good. So, like, you can't – I feel like we can't really put a lot on Goody in, like, the players and the moves he's made to make this team really great. So, I don't hate that idea, like, of being like, hey, it's up to you. Like, you want to roll with LaFleur and, like, keep this thing going? Do you think he's the guy to get this done?
And to that point, who told us
Peter yesterday?
Peter Bukowski told us yesterday that is what it looks like the organization is planning to do. That it's
that's going to be a huge shift.
It's going to go back to what most other teams do,
Mhm.
which is where they have their team president, then general manager, then head coach reports to the general manager,
Yeah.
as opposed to reporting up to the team president separately. Most teams,
honestly, I prefer
the
that.
general manager hires the coach
Because I think
That's how that hierarchy goes.
I've always had this like interesting, like they're in Green Bay. It's the personnel department and the football department, like in like the locker room and the coaches and all that is so separate. Yeah, they have conversations, but it's not as cohesive as you would think it would be in an organization like the Green Bay Packers.
Last year, the Packers scored under 20 points only 2 times in a ball game. They
That's
won.
interesting.
No, they averaged 2.5 points more a game last year than this year.
That's weird, right? I mean,
Why is that weird?
Well, I feel like
So that's a very telling stat.
I think we've been told that the Packers offense this year is amazing, and I think it's crap. Like it's good. It's really good, but I don't think it's amazing.
Well,
I think people out there think
think
that Jordan Love has gotten to some new level. I don't think he has. I think he's really, really good.
He's a good quarterback.
And they had 4 wins in a row that looked like they had turned the corner. Then they had the loss to Denver. But I don't think this is a situation where, like, this is an elite team that is doing everything right, because clearly they're not. The defense is ranked lower than last year. The offense is ranked lower than last year, and they didn't win diddly last year.
Yeah.
I think Micah Parsons
What am I
just
missing?
was exciting all the time. Like we always were on the edge of our seats. Like, is Micah Parsons going to do something awesome? And I think we kind of have brushed a little bit of the step back that this team in a sense has made, right? Like I was looking at that too. The touchdown, they don't give up a lot of rushing touchdowns, but the NFC West, those top 3 teams have all given up 8 or less rushing touchdowns on the season. I think the Rams have only given up 3 rushing touchdowns all season long.
How's that even possible?
It's bananas.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, however, in those 2 games last year, the Packers won one of those games because it was the Colts game against Malik Willis in week 2.
Yep.
And then the other one was the early November game against the Detroit Lions. They lost 24-14 in that one. This offense, I think maybe some of the illusion behind it is some of the establishment of it. Like Christian Watson looks way better this year than at any point he did last season, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Tucker Kraft looked way better this year than he did at any other point last season. And I think people got a little excited with implementing rookies like Matthew Golden, Savion Williams, what their play styles could do, some of the positives you could take away from Emmanuel Wilson's game. Like, again, if you look at it, the only part of this offense, I really think Jordan Love's passing game has improved a ton. I think the offense maybe statistically has regressed because of the run game deficiency that they have this season compared to last.
Sure. I think
that's definitely a big hit. Yeah.
Even
And
though
then
Josh
controlling
Jacobs
the
gets a
clock as
touchdown
well.
every week.
Right. I don't think it's the run game. I think it's the offensive line.
Yeah.
The way the offensive line, which was so solid last year, and again, we were sold that this was going to be even better, that all the changes were going to make sense,
Look,
and it was awful. Then it got good
Me
again.
and Mason
The
Crosby
depth.
were the only 2 people that said Josh Myers should be on the Packers next
And
season.
Elton Jenkins staying at
Yes,
guard.
the
Yeah. I
only
mean,
2 people.
the issue they had late in that season was the depth. It wasn't the starters.
Right.
It wasn't the guys that got them there. It was when those guys got hurt, they just needed some depth pieces. They needed some guys that could step in and play multiple positions and come in and fill in at a high level. And then they ended up going. So maybe the one shot against Goody, I think Aaron Banks now when he's healthy, he's a good offensive guard, in the NFL. But then the pieces there, it just feels like it's just inconsistent. And that's all I can say about this offense. Like, to think that you've lost 3 games, you only have 4 losses on the year, and 3 of them were you couldn't score more than 13 points.
Right.
Like, that's
crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's a weird anomaly that we are always going to look at this season with. 414-677-1250. Your thoughts on the comparison, both offense and defense, from last year to this year. Do you believe Jordan Love is better this year than last year? Do you believe we let the Micah Parsons effect kind of cloud our judgment on some of the deficiencies of this team between last year and this year? 414-677-1250. Give us a call. Shoot us a text. Find us on the socials at WI Sports Radio as well. We've got a little J.J. Watt to listen to, and we are ready to cheer on the Gary Bears of Indiana. Cannot wait for that and all that chaos that'll bring. Actually, I think it'll mean the Bears are closer to moving to Arlington, which of course is better for us because it's a much easier drive for us to drive to Arlington than it is to get to downtown.
Gary,
Chicago.
Imagine Gary, like what that would be.
Well, and then because they're in Indiana, do the Colts have to come to the NFC North, or do the Bears go to the AFC South?
The old Gare Bears. Let's go Gare Bears.
That battle for Indiana is going to be real. Man. He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Mason Crosby. Tommy here as well. Mace, what are you drinking today? How many different things you got going on?
I just have coffee today.
Just coffee?
I love this one.
I
I
feel
have
like
twins. Don't ask me what's in this cup.
I love that. I feel like you could use a green drink today.
You think I could? Yeah.
Like a green smoothie or
I haven't
something
seen
like
you
that.
green drink in a
I
while. Are
know.
you still green drinking?
It's not, but
Occasionally.
I feel like that'd be a good energy boost for
Making sure
talking
you get
about
your
That'd be good.
kale in your diet.
and your
you know?
vitamin and your vitamin D because there's no sun.
I'm doing
out.
pretty good. My diet's been solid lately. I'm working out 4 times a week. Just maybe maybe a comeback. I don't know.
Are you working out just the leg or do you work out the whole body? Because you are a kicker, so I gotta know.
Yeah, that's all I've ever done. Yeah, it was just like, and I just did quad extensions, leg extensions.
Squats.
Yeah,
I call them flamingo squats.
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah.
The flamingos. No, I it's mainly golf workout now. It's just rotation, flexibility, a lot of movement.
Keep the swing loose.
Core.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Let's head out to Mike in Milwaukee. Mike, you're up on the Mason Crosby Show, 414-677-1250.
What's going on, guys? Hope you're all
What's
doing
up?
well. I love that we're talking about this. Last year's defense was clearly better than this year's defense for the Packers. And you guys laying out the statistics, that's fact. So, I love Micah. I love watching him. It's like what you guys said. I'm always watching him on the field. But people might kill me for this, but could this be better for us? I mean, Sunday versus the Broncos, that was like the first time all year I saw Xavier McKinney try to intercept the pass, that deep pass.
Yeah.
And maybe something will happen. I think they're getting written off too quickly, and I think we're going to kick the absolute out of the Bears this weekend.
Yeah, that would be
I
awesome,
love it.
Mike.
I agree with you, Mike. I think like the turnovers last year. I mean, I don't think this year. Yes, sacks are great, pressures are great, but like impact plays where it's just like they are changing the course of a game with one play. Probably haven't seen as many of those this year as you did last year with those turnovers. And then like against the Bears without Micah, like with that, like the mindset of the offense is they're going to have to be really dialed in. They're not going to have like the pressure and the guys there, maybe in their minds. I don't know if that's the case, but I'd love to see this offense throw 30 down and just be like, hey, we got to go out there and get the job done for this team.
Do you ever feel worried about the offense having to do that now during this stretch, Mason, where you knew that with a couple of Aaron teams, right, where it's like we have to put up 35 this week because the defense probably going to give up 31 at some point. Are you getting the similar vibes with this team, or are you actually saying now you should be leaning into this defense even more so with no Micah Parsons even?
Yeah, I don't think that all of a sudden this defense is just going to be a defense that gives up 30 points. They're a good defense. Whether Micah's on the field or not, even early in the year, he was coming in kind of getting his legs under him in those first few games, and they played at a high level. So I don't think that just Micah being on the field, all of a sudden it's going to be shootout city. I think they're going to play the same type of ball, and I think teams are going to test them a little more, which might lead to more takeaways. Mike, you still there?
No, Mike's out.
Oh, you got him off.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Remember, we're going to be at the Broad Stop in Kenosha tomorrow, 9 to 5 with the score. It's presented by Ziegler Subaru of Kenosha. So you want to make sure you get there this Friday starting at 9 at the iconic Broad Stop in Kenosha. Brought to you by Ziegler Subaru of Kenosha. For a great experience, visit ZieglerKenoshaSubaru.com. And by Siding Unlimited, visit SidingUnlimited.com for their honest price guarantee. Mason, coming up in the 1 o'clock hour, we've got Dominique Yates from Journal Sentinel. He's their Packers multimedia guru.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, he's going to join us in the 1 o'clock
Let's
hour.
get that inside information. How's it going up there at 1265?
And we got to make our weekly picks, right? And we got some extra picks this week because we've got all of college football playoffs and we've got our regular NFL.
Maybe you could get 2 right this week. That'd be huge.
Look at Jamon, Bear fan here. Much respect for you, Mason Crosby.
Oh, well, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
He's Mason Crosby. We're presented by Verizon.
Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Tommy Wirtz in the house, and Mason Crosby. Hi, Mace.
What's up?
How you feeling?
I'm feeling better now. I feel more awake. Yeah, I feel like that was a great first hour.
Who popped in during the first hour? Was it Nolan or was it Molly?
It was Nolan.
Or
He was asking about his phone.
No, you can't have your phone, bro. You
told
didn't
him
earn
to
it. You lost your phone.
Yep, get out of here.
Did he lose his phone?
He loses it at at least once a week. So,
Gosh.
What a scrub.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all. That's the only thing. Yeah, that's all he has.
What does he lose his phone for?
Either just not doing what he needed to do in school.
Okay.
Kind of just like his processes there, disrespect. Just kind of not doing the stuff he needs to be doing around the house. So,
Okay.
and then the girls got home as well. So they all came to the door and made sure that made their presence.
Got to have some sort of strict authority figure because they're never at school to get that anyway.
So if Nolan
I don't rely on. I'm the authority. Like they don't need the teachers are there to try to educate them,
and send them home from school.
If Nolan,
give them time off.
If Nolan went and emptied the dishwasher right now, could he earn his phone back?
No.
Okay, just checking. Yes, that's a big one in our house.
No, those are like expected things. Like we have this hearth. So it's like it's a digital calendar and board, and it has all their routines and all of that. Molly can upload them digitally on her phone, so she has all the routines. And it's like if they don't knock them out, then they. Like right now, it's like kids get 15 minutes earlier bedtime if they don't, complete their hearth. Nolan's is usually his phone's taken away, and then it's a day. Like he can basically, if there are no more infractions, you'll get it back the next day.
Nice. I might have to text Molly and find out a little bit more about this hearth. And
it's nice.
And
it's good
for the rumbles.
Yeah.
Joining us now on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law, one called That's All. I don't know if he's quite dealing with this gaggle of young ones not doing their chores at home. But one day, Dominic Yates from the Journal Sentinel, Packers multimedia reporter. Dominic, how you doing, my friend?
Doing great. Good to see you, Mason, Tommy.
What's up?
I don't know if I was supposed to call you Thunder or John Cena after that dance move.
I know. I am a big WWE
Did you
guy.
see my joke? You see my joke I was doing there?
I was
tapping.
You were tapping.
Oh, tap out.
I'll make you tap out, bro. Yeah. All right.
So
Things
good.
got awkward. We can talk WWE later, Dominic. But we're excited to have you here today, and we've talked so much about the injuries and last week that it's like I feel like today is really the day that we've been kind of turning that page. Today's the day where it's like you've turned the page. We are looking towards Saturday right now.
You have to. I mean, I think every player, the fans, I think you can go through the grieving process. Really knowing, there's no Michael Parsons and some of these other guys, they're going to be, questionable heading into this game. But at the end of the day, it just kind of goes back to square one in terms of this was the roster that you had all of training camp. Like Michael Parsons didn't show up until 10 days before facing the Lions. So you pretty much already had a sense of what you were going to do anyways going into this season. So now you just have to kind of go back to that and find what works and try to find a way to beat the Bears team because, the season's not over. I know people are kind of down right now because of some of the injuries, and no question it's a lot of them, but this is still a talented roster with some players that have been playing well this season.
Yeah, I remember that first game. They they beat the Lions without Christian Watson, with Micah Parsons kind of coming in, doing, just some kind of getting his legs under him. His back was bugging him. He wasn't, hadn't practiced all training camp. So this team can get it done. They're just going to have to lean into a collective of it all, right? They're not going to be able to say, Micah Parsons, go get pressure, and then we'll do everything on the back end. It's going to be, all right, how are we going to be creative? And I have a feeling Ben Johnson, he's going to want to try to see if he can't get something on this team. And who knows, takeaways can present themselves. Do you think there's a possibility all of a sudden these 3 weeks, we see a multiple turnover game or takeaway game by this defense just because teams are going to open it up a little bit more?
I think there's a chance. I mean, you could have saw it in Denver.
They had their hands on the ball a couple times.
They did. I think Xavier McKinney dropped 1 or 2 possible interceptions, even dropped one before that Micah Parsons injury.
Yes,
so,
he did.
so the opportunities are going to be there. Caleb Williams, as talented as he is, he can be a magician out there. His completion percentage is not that high. He's going to take risk. I think about the throw in Cleveland where he rolled to the outside and just chucked it up, and DJ Moore made a great catch.
Yeah.
So there's going to be situations where he'll put the ball in the air to give the guys a chance to make a play. Keyshawn Nixon's interception to seal the deal just 2 weeks ago in that matchup. So if the ball is near you, you just have to find a way to capitalize. That's what the Bears do defensively, and their secondary does a really good job of being ball hawks. So, if the ball heads their way, you just have to find a way to turn it over and try to give you some of that momentum and get the ball back to the offense.
Yeah, that's a great point, Dominique. Okay, so this is technically in a normal week, this is like Friday. So last real work day of the week there in Packers. What is your prediction on who is going to be available and who's not? I know LaFleur in his press conference before practice said, we'll let you know later this afternoon who's ruled out, because there will probably be some guys who what's your prediction, just your best guess?
Yeah, no, that's $1 million question. I actually pulled up the list.
I know,
of guys.
I'm putting you on the spot. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I put up the list of guys who didn't practice today, and I guess I'll just try to go from there. Josh Jacobs, I think he'll be questionable, but I think he'll give it a go. I think he's one of those guys that you see the way he's played. He doesn't really need much practice, and he's a veteran guy. Because last week in Denver, he missed 2 weeks of 2 days of practice. Came back for Friday walkthrough, and then he played in the game.
And looked good. Yeah.
Looked great. Yeah, 40-yard rushing touchdown, the longest since he's been a Packer. And the 14-yard receiving catch, that was money. So I think that he's going to try to give it a go. How much he'll play, not sure, but I think he will. Evan Williams, I don't think so. I don't think he'll play.
2-week type deal.
Yeah, so I think he'll be at. And on a side note, I think I would be interested to see Javon Bullard play in that safety role and put Nate Hobbs in the slot. Because
we all want that, Dominique. That's got to happen, right?
Yes, because I think this Packers defense, I think they have to play physical because the Bears are still going to try to run the ball. And I think that Hobbs, and just the way that he can play physically, I think that could be kind of a good counter for that. Ooh, Zach Tom, I think he'll be questionable, but I think he will try and maybe give it a go unless he has some setbacks, because, there was structural damage to the knee. And it sounds like it might even be the back bothering him more than the knee. So I think he might, try to give it a go. I think he'll be questionable. Josh Wiley with the concussion, he'll probably be ruled out. The one that, he missed today's practice, but not really sure, Kingsley Enagbari. He didn't have, he wasn't on the injury report this
I don't want
week.
that. All right.
Maybe it's an illness or just something personal.
Yeah. Something personal. Yeah, because the day before Jaden Reed, it was just
that was Jaden Reed, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. I won't overreact.
I will say this time of year, I was saying it before, it's like illness, like things like that. It's not uncommon to have guys just need a day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on real quick.
Go
When
ahead.
did Kingsley Enagbari become JJ Enagbari? Has he always been JJ? Did we just miss that?
Yeah, he's always been JJ, going back to when he was a kid, because he loved that cartoon JJ the Jet Plane.
Okay.
The old cartoon show. Yeah, he loved that show because last year, being the new guy, I was like Kingsley, and he's like, everybody calls me JJ. I'm like, why? And he said, because of that TV show as a kid. Cool. So that's what the nickname. Yeah. But then finally, Christian Watson, I think he'll try to give it a go. I mean, he told us in the locker room, he intends to play. He practiced 2 straight days. So I think he'll be out there and he'll be able to play some.
Talk about Christian Watson a little bit, because we started the show kind of talking about, just him, like the words he said that leadership, kind of showing this toughness that, hey, I had to go to the hospital. Like, they were worried. Whenever I saw how his elbow hit the ground, I thought it was shoulder collarbone type thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a chest injury. They're checking him out. He gets cleared. So that's just discomfort he's probably having to deal with now, because like it seems like there was nothing significantly wrong there. But like the words he said, like what, like they're in the locker room as guys are asking questions. Did you feel like, oh man, that's like, did you feel some energy from that? Like a guy like that, Christian Watson, who's been injured, is an emotional leader, is an impactful player on this team, saying, hey, I'm going to do everything in my power to be on that field. Even if it hurts like heck, I'm going to be out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Because everyone knows his injury history. He's missed some football. He just came back, from the ACL. So as long as he feels like he can play and be out there, he's going to, because he's missed a lot of ball throughout his career. And he made the point, which is true, kind of like with Josh Jacobs, like with these guys. You're going to play hurt at this time of the year. Introduce me to the player right now at this point in the season that's not hurt. I'll show you a beach house here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So, he's not going to feel great, right? So he's not going to feel great by no means. And so I think that, he's going to try to give it a go and see what he can do. How much, not sure. He even mentioned maybe he'll have a brace on that shoulder just to feel comfortable. But, he's a guy that he's going to try to do everything in his power to get out there and contribute to this team, because his impact is great, as we've seen since he's been back.
Dominique, I have a question for you going back to the defensive side. And we talked about the injuries and the predictions of who's going to be available, who's not going to be available for the Green Bay Packers. But this isn't really a time for Jeff Hafley, both because of his playoff push that he's trying to accomplish with the Packers and maybe the job interview he's lining up for with the New York Giants, for him to really have any excuses. It feels like, how difficult is it to revert back to the plans before Micah Parsons, in your opinion, for Jeff Hafley? Or do you see that being an easier transition than maybe the fan base might see, because of what this defense was last year, just having to now be implemented this year, maybe more so?
That's a great question. And I think in ways it's going to be difficult when you have a player like that's out of the game, because he was playing just so well. And this team was able to thrive off of that pass rush because of some of the inconsistencies in the secondary. So it's going to be a tough task, but I think it's just going to take a collective effort. I think they could have a big boost if Brenton Cox Jr. is activated off injury reserve and he's able to play, because in 7 games when he did play, he had like 4 sacks, had some pressures, and he played well. Ironically, last year his first sack was on Caleb Williams in Soldier Field. Nice. So I think there's going to be it's just going to be a collective effort from the group. So I think it's going to be big for Hafley to show how creative he can be, and how he's just going to use players. I'm watching the linebackers as well, especially in the run defense and containing Caleb Williams. So, if Edrin Cooper can have a big game and be explosive, if Quay Walker can play well, Isaiah McDuffie can play well, and the secondary, they just don't give up the explosive plays and just contain Caleb Williams. If you can keep him in the pocket, you should feel so much better about your chances. So it's going to be all on Hafley to make sure that they can contain him.
And one more follow-up then. How frequent do you think we could expect to see a package where you have a Quay Walker, a McDuffie, and a Cooper all on the field at the same time?
I think you could see that quite a bit, because you have to,
especially with the run game, right?
Yes, because of that run game, I think you have to, and I think you have to be creative with some blitz packages. I am curious how much they'll blitz, because I'm sure that Hafley will be, I guess, concerned about the secondary, and he doesn't want to see guys get burnt out there. But again, a lot of it too will be dependent on the health of the Bears, because with Romeo Dunze, he's been dealing with some injuries. Luther Burden has been dealing with some injuries. They have talented tight ends, but if some of their better receivers aren't on the field, I think you could have that opportunity to be creative in blitz. But yes, to answer your question, I think you could see a lot of that.
We got Dominique Yates joining the Mason Crosby Show. You can find him. That real D. Yates, not the fake D. Yates, for sure. Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, Packers beat writer. I got a question. Going back to some injury stuff, and I hate to talk about this, and I feel bad for the guy, but Marshawn Lloyd, do you think he ever plays for the Packers? Again? Do you think this is just kind of like, man, we got to kind of kick the tires on this because it's, he is just injury prone and can't get on the field?
Mason, I wish I knew the answer to that question. And it sounds like they've tried everything to investigate and figure it out. Maybe it goes back to an ACL injury he had in college because he just continually deals with the lower leg injuries. But I mean, there's no surprises that the Packers are going to try everything and just ad nauseum to try to get him on the field because you see the talent. You see the potential. You just don't see many running backs with his size, with that speed in his cuts. So I think, I don't know. Yes, I'll just say yes. One day we'll see him on the field and play for the Packers. If he finishes the game, who knows? But I think that, yes, they'll try everything possible to just have him on the field and see what happens.
Get him back in the fold.
Yeah, because he can change a game because of his speed. That's something that this Packers, they don't have that from the running back position. So I think they're going to try.
I mean, that sounds nice. Wouldn't that be nice if they had a game breaker?
I just don't even see how they fit another running back on this team. I mean, we were just talking about that, Dominique, too, in the last segment. That feels like an area of this team that you can specifically point to and see regression from last year's team versus this year's team.
The
running game in general. But yet, it's the exact same group of guys. They spent a whole bunch of money on the offensive line.
It's not the same group
Correct.
of guys.
It's the same running back room, but the offensive line was, that was where they invested more money than anywhere else on top of it right now. And I'm confused, Dominique, as to why the game is regressed so much in the running side of things.
I think there's a couple of things to that. Number one, the early half of the season, because they didn't have Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, their speedy receivers to stretch the field, defenses were able to load the box. So because of that, it was more difficult for them to have some success there. The other part of that was the play of the offensive line. They really struggled early. The Elton Jenkins moved to center. It didn't work out early on to start the season. Aaron Banks dealt with a lot of injuries, and so he wasn't
was injured,
playing well. Zach Tom with the oblique. They were trying to work with Anthony Belton here and there and Jordan Morgan. They just really haven't been able to find a spot for him on the field and at the offensive line. And, Rasheed Walker, he struggled at times as well. So I just think it's been because of so many inconsistencies and they just didn't have, you could say, the full arsenal of weapons on offense that defenses were just able to load the box and take away the run. But I do think you've seen a little bit more success in the run game down the stretch because of how Sean Ryan has played at center.
Yeah,
and then
he's done a good job.
Yes, and moving Anthony Belton at guard. I was pushing for that for 6 weeks. No question about it, because of how physical and he's just a big body and how he's been able to play. And then again, Banks has been healthier as well. So I think that's why you've been able to see more of those, 40-yard rushing touchdowns and why the run game has been a little bit better just because of what they've had.
Question to you, and this kind of goes towards the end of the season, off season. Do you see Quay Walker in a Packers jersey next year?
Ooh. Too early, Mace.
You think so?
I don't know.
Just with his play, just with how he's played this year, all that. Do you think?
I don't even want to think about being sad,
this Packers team should, the organization should give him a good contract and keep him around?
It's hard because they really do like him, and I think this has been his best season, since he's been a Packer. So I think a lot of it will just come down to the money in terms of how much he'll want and how much they'll be willing to pay. I don't know. Maybe not. I think a lot of it might be depending on what they've seen from Tyron Hopper and some guys like that in practice, especially because, I don't know if they want to do this long term, but Isaiah McDuffie did a really good job when he filled in at middle linebacker. He had the interception. I can't even remember the game now. That shows you, how crazy things have been over the past, few weeks. So, my gut would say probably not. that they wouldn't, want to pay.
He's I wouldn't be surprised. He's gonna kick the tires in free agency. I think it'd be unwise not to see if there's a team out there that will throw a ridiculous number at him just because of his tangible ability, at that position.
Yep.
So yeah, it'll be curious. I know the Packers, how they do things. They'll throw a team friendly deal at him, tell him, we love you. Like, this is your best, best fits. This is where you're at. Like, this is what we can do. If you don't want to take that, go test the market and we'll see what happens. So for me, that's probably what's going to happen with him. But I think having Quay and Edgerrin Cooper together for a while sounds like I think that is the recipe to keep this defense playing at a high level for 3 or 4 years to come.
Yes, because they've done a terrific job in terms of just not only when they had blitz, but how they've contained quarterbacks and in the run defense. And because anytime a team tries to run any jet sweeps or tries to get to the outside, you can't do that on this team because those linebackers are so good at that. So I think they will try to keep everyone intact because the talent is there. Especially if they can have everyone on board and healthy next season. I think this team would be right continually in that Super Bowl conversation.
All right, I'm going to ask you one more. I don't know if the guys have anything else before we let you go, but all right, this game, I looked at the weather, night game, Saturday night. It's going to cool off. The wind's going to be blowing there in Chicago. Which of these teams do you favor and kind of, if the conditions unravel a little bit, if it's windy, if it's cooling off, all of that, who do you favor in a game with those types of conditions?
If it's windy and in that condition, to be honest with you, because of how well they run the ball, I think the Bears would have the advantage when you have a two-headed monster like Swift and Monangai. That can be a problem, and they do have solid tight ends. And, Caleb Williams can scramble and run the ball well. Not saying the Packers can't do that, but I think that if conditions can be out of their favor, I think it does favor the Bears. But other than that, I think this game is going to come down to if the Packers win it, it's because Jordan Love is continually playing at a high level, and he has played really well. I think that if he can continually put this offense on his back and just lead them down the field and score, the Packers can win this game. Because as I mentioned earlier, the season is not over. I think that they still have plenty of opportunities when you take on a Ravens team next week that might not even make the playoffs. The Vikings are already eliminated. So, I think if Jordan can keep the guys together and rally them, I think that, they still have a chance to win some games.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's go. Anything else, fellas?
Not just keep up the great work.
Yeah, I appreciate you,
Dominic.
Dominic.
Follow you, Real D Yates, and we'll definitely talk to you. Have a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, all the things.
Yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Yeah, even as a sidebar, personally, my parents, they'll be driving up to Wisconsin for the first time.
Nice.
All right.
Taking them to the beach house. Let's go. Yes.
We're going to get them out of Kentucky for a couple of days and introduce them to cheese curds and ice cream.
Well, I'm driving down to Florida, so I'll wave to
Pass
them.
them on the road.
As they're driving north and we're driving south, I'll wave on our way.
It's smart to drive in. I can't tell you how many times my parents and family tried to fly up this time of year and got stuck in Minnesota or Chicago and then the trek across. I think it was Chicago my rookie year. They got stuck in Minneapolis and then had to take a rental car across. Took them, 8-10 hours, something like that, to get across because of the snowstorm.
Oh, I could imagine Jim just swearing up a storm as he's driving this car.
He was
so mad.
He was salty. The only car available was a Ford Mustang also. So they were just slipping and sliding. So tell your parents to be careful, take their time, and enjoy it up there.
Thank you guys so much, and Merry Christmas to you as well. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Tom. That's Dominic Yates with the Journal Sentinel, the Packers multimedia reporter, does a great job covering the team, and he's locked in. He is ready.
Yep,
he is ready. No doubt about it.
I think he's positive. He's optimistic.
By the way, Mason, the NBA Cup happened, and we know the Knicks won. If you remember on Tuesday,
surprising.
I said I like the Spurs, but I really like the under. And of course, it was the Knicks and the over. So I think we're continuing as we get to our picks in the next segment. Like maybe just go the opposite way of what I say out loud, and you're going to be a rich man this
Yeah,
week.
I know. I won $5,000 off that bet.
I mean, smart, pay for all your Christmas gifts.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
Just
gosh.
go against Thunder.
Exactly.
Jeez,
Just fade him. Just fade him.
He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nelson. We make our weekly picks next here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon.
It's time for the boys' weekly picks. Hear who they think will win the big games this weekend. Just don't trust them. It's weekly picks with Mason Crosby, Mitch Nellis, and Tommy Wirtz.
All right, it is the Mason Crosby Show, and it is time for our weekly picks. We are the masters. You should listen to us for entertainment purposes only, people. For entertainment purposes.
Mitch wasn't saying this 3 weeks ago.
I know.
There were no disclaimers on Mitch's 3 weeks ago. Just saying.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Yeah. 2-16 is all we have to say.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
like
that is.
You got to try hard to
You're
be that
better than the
bad.
Cleveland Browns.
Wow.
A couple years ago.
There you go.
Whatever it is.
Thanks.
Right.
Great. Awesome.
I don't know. Some of these are going to be interesting this week. This is a big lineup we have. Yeah,
Well,
Tommy laid it out for us.
Because we got to get all the NFC North games in, and we got to get all the college football playoff games in. So
Yeah.
we got to get them all in.
It is mega week on Picks Week here.
Mega week.
Hey, did y'all check out that the bowl games last night? There were some good ones on.
I saw USF and was it
Old Dominion?
Old Dominion? Yeah.
It got me a little worried about my pick though. James Madison beat Old Dominion 63-27 or something like that. Like
They
so.
gave up 27. That's terrible.
Hey, Old Dominion. I mean, they go and thump USF. So who knows?
That's real.
No one probably played for USF. They all transferred. They probably all
USF
transferred.
had 47 guys who either transferred or went pro and skipped the game.
How many people know the state that Old Dominion University is in?
It is in that's
Virginia.
It is.
Is it Virginia?
Yeah, it is.
I was thinking Carolinas.
I know all these.
I was thinking Carolinas, but
when you get old like me, you know stuff.
that's where Rick Lovato went to Old Dominion.
Old Dominion more known for their basketball program than their football program.
Sure,
they've made the tournament a bunch of times.
Hey, but they're bowl winners. So
they were in a 15-2. I think they were in a 15-2 upset of Syracuse.
They went 10-3, and two of their losses are to college football playoff teams.
There you go.
They lost to James Madison in Indiana this year. So
what was the score against Indiana?
Don't care.
1 to nothing. 1 to nothing.
Our picks this week, reviewing our standings. Mitch Nellis is 37-46-2. Tommy 37-45-3. Mason Crosby, leader of the pack, 38-45-2. Let's go through these college football playoff games that are going to be this weekend, and we'll start with the two big games here. We'll have them give them both at a time because I know we're up against it a little bit. Tulane is at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is 17.5-point favorites. JMU is at Oregon. Oregon is 21.5-point favorites in this one. I'm going to take Oregon, and I'm going to take Tulane. I think Tulane covers. I know they've played Ole Miss already this year. I think that gives them an advantage, though, during this. And honestly, if you're asking me to put faith in the Ole Miss football program to not mess this up, I don't have that yet. So give me Oregon and Tulane, 21.5, 17.5. Whoever would like to go next, go ahead.
I mean, I'm taking Ole Miss and Oregon. Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking Ole Miss and Oregon for sure. I mean, Oregon, like that could be a 60-7 game.
And I think Ole Miss is going to come out with a chip on their shoulder.
All right, fine, fair enough. Then let's go to the next.
I went with Mitch. All right, I'm switching mine.
Take the other.
Can Mitch go first, and then we can just?
I'll go first in every. You know what? That's my punishment.
Dang it! All right, I change everything.
The other two games, Mitch Nellis, much closer. Alabama at Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a point favorite. Miami is at A&M. A&M is a 3.5-point favorite.
I'm going to take A&M. I'm going SEC Wild. I'm going A&M and Alabama. I think A&M at home. I think Miami's not that good. I think Oklahoma's not ready. I don't know. I don't like Oklahoma, so I'm going Alabama. I went against Alabama. I took Georgia. That didn't work out for me. So I'll take Alabama, and of course Oklahoma will win by 20.
Okay. Are you forgetting that Oklahoma's also in the SEC now too?
I don't care.
Okay.
So he was winning either way. He was taking SEC.
I just said I was taking SEC. Right?
Mitch is so off right now. He doesn't even know where Oklahoma plays. Are they in the United States?
Are they in Oklahoma? They're in Virginia too, right?
I think they're in the U.S. Virgin Islands, right?
Yeah, there they are.
St. John's.
I'm going to take Oklahoma and Miami. I think that Miami has something to prove in this game, and I think A&M's really floundering at the end of their season. And Miami has to, like, the narrative of them not supposed to be in the playoff, right? And, like, they screw Notre Dame over. Like, then they win a game to prove that, hey, we should have been here, right? And Carson Beck a lot of experience in the college football playoffs. So I'm going to take Miami and Oklahoma in this one.
Gosh, this is a big come up week for you, Tommy. If Mitch does not turn the corner, then I'm going down with him because I have A&M and Alabama. I'm rolling with Mitch on this.
Sorry, Mason.
Alabama's the only team that I think can win on the road and
Yes.
and do anything on the
Agreed.
road. Like I think they're the only capable team to win a game on the road.
I just think Oklahoma's defense is legit, and I think that's the most important thing in college football is just having a good defense at this point because
That's true. That's just a pick'em game, right? I mean, it's
it's
-1.
one point,
yeah.
right? I mean, so I'm going to take Oklahoma and
I don't blame you.
Miami in this one. Yeah, that's where I'm going. All right, perfect. Then let's get to the NFL. We have our NFC North games to pick. Let's start with a game that means a lot for Green Bay. That is Steelers at Lions. If the Lions are 7-point favorites in this one, if the Steelers, however, were to win this game and the Packers were to win as well, they would clinch a playoff spot. So does your good friend Aaron Rodgers help them out at all?
I don't know if they win the game, but I'll take Pittsburgh to cover in this one. I I know Detroit's awesome at home, and you guys should both take Detroit because Detroit is awesome at home. But 7 points is a lot, and I think the Steelers are fighting. I think they're really fighting.
Yeah.
I think they're battling. I think Aaron, maybe it's a Hail Mary at the buzzer to win it, in that building. I'm going Pittsburgh.
Dude, that would be awesome.
That was
Yeah,
awesome.
gosh, Mitch, I'm going Steelers. I got to have faith that my guy Aaron can get it done. He's had some big moments and success in that building. He loves to sling it around. I do think this Steelers team, the Dolphins stink, but I do think they have some pieces that if they put it all together, they can get something done. And I want the Lions to lose. So I'm a little bit of a hard pick.
I cannot wait to be in first place after this week.
Holy
I'm going
cow.
with the Lions.
Oh,
That's
gosh.
the pick, Tommy.
I think the Lions at home is it doesn't
different.
feel
They're
like their
different animals.
season ends this week, right? It doesn't feel like that's how the Lions don't make the playoffs, is that 2 weeks away still from a very important Bears-Lions game on
Yeah,
paper.
that's a good
So I think the Lions stay alive, and I think they cover the 7 points because Aaron just throws checkdowns now. He doesn't do anything fun and exciting anymore. So remember, all betting odds courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Vikings are at the Giants, and they are 3-point favorites. Mitch Nellis.
Yep, I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings in this one. I think the Giants have they got their tent. They folded up their tents. They've gone home. Like I know Jackson Dart's going to get. Is he even playing? And if he is, he's going to play.
He's going to get a concussion.
He'll get a
Yeah.
concussion.
Anyway.
Yeah. He'll throw 3 interceptions.
Yeah, I don't think I think the Vikings are doing like exactly what we as Packers fans want them to do. Just playing well enough to stay with J.J. McCarthy as your quarterback and sucking for the next 5 years.
Yep,
I love it. Vikings, you're in such hell right now. Vikings fan. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah, I'll take the Vikings.
Yeah, I'll take the Vikings. I'm going to roll with the Vikings too, Mitch. You're either coming back this week or we're going down together.
I love it.
I think the Vikings are playing a little bit better. They look good against Dallas. Giants are just so bad too. I mean, that's 3 points. Give me that all day.
All right, everyone's on the Vikings this week. We can all regret that afterwards, but if Jameis was playing, would that change either of your minds?
Yeah, he's got an energy.
Yeah, right. Jameis covers. Jameis is the
Jameis covers.
He's the man.
The Diego Pavia of the NFL. And then that means Packers at Bears. Packers still a 1-point favorite over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, according to their betting odds. Mitch Nellis, do you like Green Bay in this pick'em?
I do, but I'm taking the Bears. I'm taking the Bears to win the game. I think with the running game, I think the Bears figure out some way to just keep the ball out of Jordan Love's hands with Caleb and with the 2 running backs. I think it's going to be an amazingly frustrating game for Packers fans because every time the Packers touch the ball, good things happen. But the time of possession is going to be like 40-20, and it's going to be horrible. And it's going to be like we're just going to be banging our heads against the wall. Just get the ball back, and good things will happen. And the Bears are going to say, "Not so fast, my friends." And the Bears win by 1, 20-19, some dumb game that we all.
So you're going for a tie?
Yeah, I'm going for a tie. No, the Packers are favored by 1.
Oh, the Packers are
yeah,
favored.
So I'm
yeah,
going to
sorry.
take the Bears to win 20-19.
All right. Yeah,
and just
sorry.
a stupid football game that we all just want to flush down the toilet immediately when it's over.
Okay.
Have fun on the post-game show, bro.
Seriously.
I will be.
That's gonna be a late night for old Tommy, and he's just
it
gonna be like, "I hate you, Mitch Nellis."
Saturday night Green Bay football post-game show. Don't forget.
Sneak a girl in there, even if Sparky's here, because like Sparky's kind of shorter, so he can't see. Like you turn the lights off in there and just like.
Yeah,
let's just hang out.
I mean,
that's Tommy's vibe. That's Tommy's vibe.
Totally.
Yeah,
Sparky hasn't noticed yet, so why would I stop?
Exactly.
I mean, not a problem. Man, I was gonna take the Bears until Mitch Nellis took them. Like, I really think.
So you're on the Mitch Nellis fade. You're fading everywhere.
Not purposely, but just for this pick. I think that I believe in Jordan Love, man. I know I believe in Jordan Love, and to just cancel the season, I really do believe that it is a de facto like loser leaves town as far as relevancy goes game. I think the loser of this game will not be taken seriously after this game, and I think both teams that know that going into it. And I'm gonna put my faith in the Packers for at least one more week on this. And if they're gonna be favored in this game, that's a weird line. Why are the Packers favored after all these injuries? Right? Yep. Vegas knows. I'm taking Green Bay.
What's your score?
I'll go
6-3,
21-19. Little Price is Right rules on Mitch
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I like it.
All right.
Mason's taking the Packers.
I'm taking the Packers. I've been talking. I'm saying I have faith that they can still play some good ball. Without Micah Parsons. If Christian Watson goes, that definitely adds that faith in my favor. That I think with Christian Watson, this team can get it done, can still move the ball and score some points. So I'm taking the Packers, and I have them. I've been going back and forth. I had it written down 24-17, but I'm going to go 24-20.
Okay.
Yeah. I do think the Bears might find a way to, make it close there.
All right. Reviewing our
no independent games this week because we have extra
we just have so many games, right? Yeah.
What do we have? 7?
Yeah.
It's a big week.
College football playoff starts this week. Ole Miss and Oregon for Crosby and Nellis, while Tommy's got Tulane and Oregon. Alabama and A&M for Crosby and Mitch. Tommy's staying in the SEC with Oklahoma and Miami to revenge themselves from the CFP committee. Mitch is on the Steelers, so is Mason, while Tommy gets the Lions for free. We're all rocking with 9 this week. JJ McCarthy, shout out to him. And Mitch Nellis even fading his own love of the Packers this week as well, as he is on the Bears. And the former kicker
I'm
and
hoping
the
reverse psychology works out.
current producer on Green Bay. That's our pick.
I have faith, Mitch, that this is the week. You break out. And you go 5 or you go 6-1, and I'm 7-0.
You know what? If I go 6-1 and you go 7-0, Mace, it's worth it.
It's worth
I'll
it.
sign up for that all day, every day.
It's a bad week for Tommy.
That's a bad week for Tommy.
It's over.
I will double take it.
Yeah.
I will double take it.
Over
If that's how it works. This is the Mason Crosby Show. We're presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We'll come back to wrap things up, preview a couple things going on tonight in the world of sports, and Mason's extra points. All the holiday cheer is next, right here on the Mason Crosby Show.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today?
Now I'm thinking.
It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis. On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Oh, well, thanks to everybody who listened today to the Mason Crosby Show. Thank you, Thunder. Thank you, Tommy, for everything you do. You can listen to Tommy 6 hours a day, it sounds like, for the next, next week? We're just filling in for everybody.
Today, you on today, bro?
Today, yeah. Tomorrow
You
I'll
up for
be
Sparky?
producing for WSD, so hopefully I don't have to talk too much.
Okay.
Monday I'll be on the morning show.
WSDs.
And then on Tuesday, I will be on 9 to noon and this show as well. So, yeah,
Nice.
pretty much the next, until forever.
Yeah.
I will be moving
Well, just
around.
keep crushing it, buddy. Okay, so I wasn't here whenever, it's like J.J. Watt, said that he wanted to be a Packer. They didn't want, like he would have taken,
Stupid
what,
Packers.
$5 million a year or whatever
Goody's
the
an
number
idiot.
is. How'd y'all feel about that?
Good.
What was your initial reactions?
Goody's an idiot. That's all.
Okay.
Goody's an idiot. You make that sign. You sign that deal.
Especially when you find
If he was
out
willing to take $5 million a
Right, you
year,
sign
but
that deal.
what did he take at Arizona?
15.
Yeah, he's not taking $5 million.
I think that his agents never told him the number. That's my prediction. I think his agents wanted him to make more money, and that's why it didn't get done. Because if he really did go out and say, like,
I want to
"Let
go
me
back
see
to
this-
Wisconsin.
Let me
Yeah.
see this offer, whatever it is," and then they're like, "Well, they never gave me an offer. They never. I guess. Whoa, I don't. Must have got lost in the mail." Like, so I would venture to think that his agents were like,
It's
"We
not
can
as
get
simple,
$10 million more dollars
Yeah,
for
exactly.
you." So absolutely not.
Yeah, it was a business decision on
Yeah,
their part.
exactly.
Like, yeah, so I mean it was probably a nothing burger, but like now JJ can say whatever he wants and be like, "Oh gosh, I would have played for $5 million a year."
A lot of headlines. Mason, did you see Doug Gottlieb is stepping away from
Yeah, I
his
did.
radio show?
Yeah.
They had a nice win against Santa Barbara last night, and
Nice.
I think he thinks the team is pretty decent.
Team's decent.
And I think he's just like tired of doing everything and answering the question over and over again, and so he's just going to coach.
I think it's wise. I mean, you got to focus on one thing and just lock in. And
That's
if it
Whitefish
doesn't work
Bay's-
out as a coach, then he goes back to his show.
Yep, that's Whitefish Bay's Doug Gottlieb, by the way.
That's right.
Yep,
509 Tyson from Zilla, who is always a fan, like always on the show. I think he listens to every show on the station. So really appreciate you, Tyson. He said Rome Odunze is out for the Bears on Saturday.
He's supposed to be out, yeah, and Burden might be out as well. So
Wow.
they're going to run the ball a ton. Remember tomorrow? It's
And you still think the Bears are going to win?
they're going to run. That doesn't affect the running game. It's Broad Bowl 3 this Friday, starting at 9 at the Broad Stop in Kenosha. Remember, it's brought to you by Ziegler Subaru of Kenosha. For a great experience, visit ZieglerKenoshaSubaru.com. And by Siding Unlimited, visit SidingUnlimited.com for their honest price guarantee. Mason, the Bucks are home against the Raptors tonight.
No.
The Bucks are now out of the playoffs if they were to start today. The Badgers volleyball
Officially.
team in the Final Four tonight.
Heck
That's
yeah.
on ESPN. They're playing
Keep going.
Kentucky.
Let's go.
And so that should be a good matchup as well.
Did I ever tell you? So Ravel Martin, former
Yeah.
Packer wide
Guitar
receiver.
player. Taught Aaron how to play
His
guitar.
daughter is on Penn State.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, she transferred from Florida to Penn State. She's one of the best women's volleyball players in the nation. So
nice.
I think she's 6'7", if you wanted to know. She is so tall. Though.
That's tall.
So tall and just amazing.
And amazing. She's tall and an amazing athlete.
And amazing. Yeah.
Good for her.
So
awesome.
we were talking and like looking at old pictures. It's kind of wild to see some of these kids grow up. My favorite holiday album I was listening to yesterday, the Dolly Parton Kenny Rogers one, the Hard
Dolly
Candy
Parton's
Christmas.
Dolly
Are you
Parton's the
kidding
goat.
me?
I mean, she's amazing.
I've been crushing that, so I'm going to jump on that. But have an awesome rest of your Thursday. I don't know who I want to win tonight, but maybe both teams can lose. Rams and Seahawks.
I think we kind of want the Rams just because we'd rather go to LA, right?
There we go.
But-
Rams, go Rams.
But if there's an earthquake, we wouldn't root against that either.
Okay.
He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers.
Packers.
I wish I